All right, good afternoon, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the tens of people that may listen or see clips from this podcast. This is the new, revamped, relaunched, co-hosted. Currently, we'll see how it works out. First episode.
Oh, let's go.
Here we go. Fantasy football, harsh reality, and of course, my co-host. This season, we talk about fantasy football all the time, and I realize it might be more fun to just have him on the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Behrman.
Hello. Can't wait. Can't wait to dive in, my friend.
Boy, I'll tell you, and you got a good radio voice too. Like yours is probably better for this than mine. But
I have a face for radio, is what they say.
I would agree. All right.
Oh.
So let's start. So, drafts have gone on. I never really release a pre-draft episode because I don't want everybody else to know what I'm going for. I don't want to give away my, everyone has those gems, the late round gems, the guys you think no one else is really thinking about as much, and you go and put it on a podcast. Now everyone's, and mostly the only people that see this are people in my league.
In the league, exactly.
So now the drafts are completed. The last two were probably the most important to me, and the ones I was the most drunk for. It didn't go. The timing didn't work out good at all. The Smoking Super Bowls draft, I wasn't even there for the first two rounds.
Why did we do it on a Saturday? That makes Saturday night.
I complained. I said that's a holiday weekend, guys, and everyone was like, "Fuck you, be done." Dude, I
didn't realize it was Saturday.
I was at a barbecue in Las Vegas, pool party, had been for 5 hours.
Well, yeah, that was clear.
I was just bonkers drunk. So, I made some tough
Sometimes
choices.
Those turn out to be your best drafts.
I was gonna say, it might actually work out great because I auto drafted the first two rounds. So, that may have been better than what I would have done. So, that being said, let's just start out with players that maybe you feel you didn't get enough shares of.
I mean, one of them is Kyler Murray. I didn't get any shares of Kyler Murray.
I didn't either. I don't buy the hype yet.
I buy it. I'm into it, and I have FOMO. I have a fear of missing out on Kyler. I got a feeling this Marvin Harrison kid is going to change everything over there.
It may well be the case.
And then the other one, I had every opportunity in every draft, but couldn't do it. And now I'm sad I didn't do it. Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, I got a couple shares of him. I have him in my dynasty league, luckily, so I didn't have to worry about trying to grab him there. But he is one of those guys that was at those later middle rounds, your 7, 8, 9, or I guess 6, 7, 8s, where there were a lot of good choices in there.
Right. And I feel like I missed out on a couple. And Pickens is another one.
So there was exactly Pickens, Zay Flowers, Calvin Ridley, but then you also had running backs like Zach Moss and Austin Eckler and Chris Brown and stuff like that. So
DeAndre Swift was in there too, which is a great.
No, DeAndre Swift was a little higher up. He was like a
bit higher
rounder. Yeah. He was going around 3, 4. But
okay, my bad.
But those guys were down there, and so there were a lot of choices. And so being in many leagues, I try and diversify and not make it all. I love this guy and he's on every team, and this guy's on, because when that guy goes down, all your leagues are done. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I've made that mistake,
and I do try to not let other drafts affect who I want to draft too much, but it does. It absolutely does.
Of course it does. All right, so my last one is Scary Terry. He was so low. He's the clear number one on the team. Yeah. They've got all the hype in the world with Jaden Daniels.
Quarterback,
yeah. And I just thought, man, he seems like a bargain for a wide receiver one, but I wound up taking T. Higgins instead.
Oh yeah, I could see where you would, especially with the Jamar Chase situation at the start of the year. Anyway,
exactly.
I didn't take a lot of. I already have Scary Terry in my dynasty league, so it's always nice to know that's already set. So I don't have to.
Right.
I don't have to try to get him on those. I think I got one other share of Terry McLaurin across 6 leagues. Because he's right. He was right down there. That middle late rounds.
So many great choices.
So many nice choices down there. And if you had played it right, you should have a really stacked bench. I felt like this season there was a lot of names for the bench. Jalen Warren was down there. Like a lot of great, Jerome Ford, who's going to handle the majority of carries. Now, sure, in 4 games, Chubb could come back, but he's not coming back. Jerome Ford will continue to have the lion's share, I think, to at least week 8, and he was down there.
Yes, exactly.
A guy, though, that I don't feel like I got enough shares of, the one that really, I wanted more of him, and it's Zach Moss for me.
Oh, really?
Zach Moss.
You're not afraid of Chase Brown?
I'm not afraid, and I called him Chris Brown earlier.
Well, you should be afraid of Chris Brown.
You should.
Yeah, he'll hit you.
He's absolutely be afraid. He's gonna, he will. He plays dirty. You know what, Chris Brown? Chase Brown, no, I don't fear Chase Brown because we've seen what he can do. The Bengals have seen what he can do. And I just don't think, I do think the majority of the good opportunity is going to go to Zach Moss. I believe that because I just think he's the better running back. And I think he'll separate himself a little bit more every week. That's my belief anyway.
I love hearing you say that because I've got him on my team.
And I got a couple of shares, I think 2 shares. So would have liked more, but he was a guy that I missed out on him in one league because, so I got CJ Stroud in, 4th, 5th round where he belongs, wherever it was.
Right.
And then so I think it was 4th round CJ Stroud. So now coming around to 6th round, that's where I could have gotten Zach Moss. But I was but I knew the guy right after me needed a quarterback. And the last good one there was Jordan Love. And I'm this is way too high to pick up your backup quarterback. But you would have it's a great trade piece and the greatest backup in the event that there's some weird second-year regression. I think an incredible backup and plan B. And really it was about fucking the other guy in the ass.
Of course, isn't it always? It's mostly
it really was. It really was. And so I took Jordan Love. He took Zach Moss, but then he had to settle for who did he wind up settling for?
Tua or Goff?
It wasn't even Tua. It wasn't that good. I'll find it and I'll tell you. But I just was and then he was like, no, that's who I wanted all along. I'm like, no, it wasn't. There's no way that was who you wanted. Fuck you. No way.
Well, at least it wasn't Taysom Hill in the 3rd.
No. What the fuck?
And then he dropped him.
Then he dropped
him. He's going to want him, too. He's going to come back and try to get him.
Oh, he fucked him. That was Bert, right? That was Bert?
Yeah.
God, they must have been trashed up there in Colorado.
Well, Rob was drafting from the bathtub. And we never saw him on the call.
On the Zoom. Oh, my God.
Yeah, on the Zoom. But Bert was there, and he was fine. And he's the one that screwed up. He said he had a new computer.
Well, he fucked up.
Right. You got to do one mock draft.
Mocks. That's
right. Exactly. You got to do one.
The draft can't be the first time you crank that sucker up.
No, exactly.
You got to run some mocks. Oh my God! What a fucking! That's a rookie mistake.
Exactly.
All right. So, who are some players you think maybe you went a little too hard on? Maybe you got too many shares of.
Okay, I know I went too hard on Cooper Kupp.
Oh,
I've got him in every league.
I get it.
I got him in every league.
You are.
I know. I went too hard.
In what, 4th round, 3rd round?
And
3rd round,
second or 3rd? Right? It's probably 3rd.
Second? Yeah, usually it's 3rd.
It may have even been 2nd.
Wow, you went hard on Cooper Kupp.
Okay. I did.
Wow,
I've got him in every league. Who's the guy you went too hard on?
For me, it was
Derek.
No, I think I only have 3 shares of Derek out of the 6 leagues because he was usually I would hope he'd make it all the way back around, and he never made it back around.
Mm-hmm.
Or he seemed to always get picked right before my pick when I was on that end. They would grab you're not supposed to. Jesus Christ. Oh, he got Jared Goff as his starter.
I told you it had to be Goff or Tua.
Oh, all I heard was Tua, but it was Goff. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So, and I'm like, all right. He's okay. But
Jared, solid season.
Listen, Jordan Love.
He plays all of his home games indoors. Jared Goff's I almost took him as my backup, but I was looking at the beginning of the season.
He is a 2. He's not. You want one of those marquee guys who might get you 30.
Absolutely, yes.
Goff is a 19 to 24 every fucking week.
We'll see. I think with Jamar Gibbs coming up and, the emergence of Sam Laporta and
Well, we saw that last
Brown.
year, and I had him last year. I'm telling you, not a lot of 30-point games in that deck.
No, all right. I'll have to look at his box score from last season.
Yeah, I will as well. So, let's hope no one calls me on that. Okay.
I might next week.
You know who I actually am kind of afraid that I got too many shares of, and it's Patrick Mahomes and the Dallas defense. And only because, Mahomes, I feel like, because his value, okay, he was getting drafted lower than ever this year, because last year he didn't have a great season. But I feel like with these upgraded weapons, I think the 30-point days are back, baby. And
I agree.
And getting him in the third round, I'm like,
you're leaving out the most important thing. The reason he used to have all those crazy games was to get Tyreek Hill, the fastest man. And then they just drafted the fastest player ever to do 40 in the combine with Xavier Worthy. I mean, we've seen what he could do. All he has to do is just toss it, and the guy just hauls ass out there, and he's going to get it.
That is another guy you could say I got too many shares of, but at the price versus what I expect, I don't think you can have enough shares of Xavier Worthy.
Right.
Because you're not. I don't think he was. Yeah. I don't think he was a top 6.
No, he was an 8th round, 7, 8, 9. I mean, he was in the dead zone.
Exactly. He's going to do the Tyreek thing where it's just all big plays worth 12 to 14 points a catch.
And Hollywood Brown is out. And he's always out. And he's going to come back and go back out. Right?
Yes.
So,
yes.
And they even brought back Juju Smith-Schuster, which is weird.
But short yardage, he's good.
Short yardage, right. He'll be great at the short yardage stuff, and there will be a lot of that.
That big body, throw him the ball, he'll catch it and take the hit.
Listen, I don't think you should ever worry. I mean, unless he gets hurt, if you've got too many shares of Patrick Mahomes. That's like a humble.
The other one I feel like I have too many shares of is the Dallas defense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're ranked the second highest. They're ahead of the Jets. They're ahead of the Browns. They're ahead of Pittsburgh, who also is supposed to have a great defense.
Yeah, I know. The defense the other defense I probably got too many shares of, but that I love is Las Vegas.
Nobody's talking about them or Chicago. Both of those guys have great defenses that you can probably get off the wire right now.
Yeah.
Like if you have a bad, that is one big mistake that I made that I usually don't. And I just overlooked it this year. I always look at the first 2 games that the defense is going to play.
Right. I saw you picked up New Orleans and you beat because you actually bid it all. And I thought no one else is going to be trying to pick up a fucking defense this week that we just drafted. I totally was like, but my backup was Las Vegas. And I totally believe in the Las Vegas defense this year.
Who are they playing first? Las Vegas plays.
They're playing the Chargers. Which I don't think they're going to be great out of the gate, the Chargers. I think they will later on in the season. But I like Max Crosby. Offense. Yeah.
I like Max Crosby over plantar fasciitis over there. Who's going to win, Crosby or plantar fascia? Crosby is going to win.
Oh, and they added Wilkins in the offseason. Like the number 2 defensive rusher in the league from the Jets. They stole him from the Jets. So their defense got marginally better, and they played. And again, it isn't about name brand personnel with them. They were lights out at the end of the season because of the coach. Yeah. He's a defensive coach, the way Belichick was, and I think that you saw that. And I think for me, that if we're gonna quickly jump to sneaky picks, for me, the Vegas defense, very sneaky pick this season. I got a lot of shares of them. I got a lot of shares of them.
That's smart. I mean, do you have other defenses, or is that you just went with that?
No, I have them in Dallas, and then I got them to play week 1 instead of the Jets because the Jets are against the Niners.
Yeah,
and Hassan Reddick refuses to show up for work, so I'm like, you know what? They got some drama going on in there. Maybe I'll just go with week 1. I'll give it to the Raiders.
So that was your sneaky pick there?
Yeah, sneaky pick.
Let me look at mine. All right. So my sneaky pick, I think there were 2, they were both IR guys. I took Nick Chubb and TJ Hawkinson. And I took TJ Hawkinson late.
I agree with. Yeah.
And Nick Chubb, we'll see. My point, I was hoping to take Jerome Ford with the next pick. So I was just going to have that.
Right.
But that did not work out that way. As soon as I
The
took
thing,
Nick
the
Chubb,
thing with
somebody
Nick
else.
Chubb, the thing with Nick Chubb is that we've seen this injury before, and the first season back's not good.
Unless your name's Adrian Peterson.
Well, he was a superhuman.
So was Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I know Nick Chubb is too. But I just think this season is not. Now next season he'll be a bargain, but this season
he'll also be a good keeper. Like if you have a keeper league, and you can pick and one guy and you lose the round ahead. I mean, I think I took him in the 10th round or 9th round. I think
that's true. Listen, I know. And then as a keeper, then you get him absolutely. But I just don't know how good he's going to be this season as he rounds back into shape.
Well, it's sneaky. It was sneaky. There are some picks that I made that I was like, I felt obligated to make.
Yes, those are the worst. Like, this is clearly the best pick here, but I don't really want them.
I made like 3 of those in our league of record, believe it or not.
Yeah. Well, I could see where you.
I had no desire to take Michael Pittman Jr.
Right.
But he kept falling. He just kept falling. And I thought, well, you'd be a fool not to take him here. And I don't remember who my other options were, but I was just like, well, he's a clear wide receiver 1 on that team. Josh Downs is hurt, and he was like coming up, but he's now hurt. So I don't know. I don't even know who the tight end is. The only one I know that catches passes over there is Michael Pittman Jr. Can you who's the tight end right now?
Well, they now have Adonai Mitchell, who I think is going to take over. Honestly,
Adonai Mitchell,
yeah,
you think he's going to take over? Well, we'll see. But T. Higgins was the other guy. I was like, well, I got to take him because it was
right,
him, Calvin Ridley, Higgins, and all these other people. And I think, well, Jamar Chase hasn't been there, and Higgins also wants more money. So he's going to go out there and he's going to show why he thinks he deserves it. And he is really strong. I mean, do you remember that DeMar Hamlin got a heart attack by running into him? Like, that's what happened. That was how strong he is. Okay. He gave that man a heart attack. All right.
Yeah, but that's on special teams.
That's true. You're right. I admit it. But still, I'm like, come on. T. Higgins, he's a
wait. Let me look up how many points you get for heart attack givens. I think it's 4 points in our league of record.
It's so rare. What if he has 2 heart attacks? Like, what if you have to revive him twice? You get 8?
Yeah, easy.
Okay,
yeah.
That would have been an 8-point play. We're going to hell for sure for that. That's
terrible business right there. We might have to cut that one out.
Yeah.
The one guy that I felt was a force was Joe Mixon. Because
it always feels that way when you draft Joe Mixon.
It really does. And I've never liked him at Cincinnati, but the guys that were left, there were no true A1, all the touches should go to him. Guys left. Everybody was left was
There's
just
a definite teardrop or tear break, after Joe.
Because then
who's after Joe? Rashad White?
White? I am glad I avoided Rashad White. I don't believe, not for the price. He was going in the 2nd round. And I'm like, I'm not
looking at the numbers. They're looking at the numbers were great, but it was so inefficient. And now they got Bucky Irving over there, who I think is going to ultimately take that job.
Yeah.
Rashad was good, but
he's not an impressive runner. He's just not. He's not. No. And so I'm like, you want to pay 2nd round price for him? Go right the fuck ahead. I ain't buying it.
Yeah, I'll take Mixon, which I hate. Yeah. I don't like Mixon as a person.
I don't either, but all that offense, I feel like, of course, he was on a high-powered offense in Cincinnati.
That's all they were missing. They thought they had it with Dameon Pierce. He was crazy in preseason. As a rookie, he was this revelation, and then he came out real strong. And I don't know what happened. Did he get injured? Yeah. I don't know what happened, but he's just fell apart. They wound up giving it to Singletary by the end of it. Old man Singletary got it. And so and Singletary was not bad, but think about how, he's so old, and Mixon, he's not exactly a spring chicken, but he's so much stronger than the other guys. And he's got great numbers. If you look at he really is almost always a top 10 running back.
And that's why I was like, okay, as much as I don't trust this fuck, I just feel like he'll just have more opportunity maybe and better opportunity. I don't know, but
I think he'll be happy.
That was the other thing. I was like, I want as many shares of this offense as I can get. Like that's another guy I was targeting in the third round with Stephon Diggs. To me,
Mm,
that guy just the potential there. People didn't believe in it when he went to the Bills and he
I
fucking
hear
took
you.
off. And I see it happening all. In fact, I didn't take, I think, any shares of Nico Collins because I'm so afraid. I know you did. And I'm so afraid of what Stephon Diggs is going to do to his target share.
Oh, or Tank Dell for that matter. Or Joe
Yeah.
Mixon. Or Joe Mixon now.
I really don't think
it is scary. That's why you want to have Mahomes and you want to have Love. You know, you want to have Stroud because they're going to just feed it. It's like the way Drew Brees used to be. He was great, but you could never pick which receiver he was going to throw to that week. Some days it was, Meacham and or Marquez, whatever his name. Like he had like three guys. He kept doling it out to these different guys. He was great, but you couldn't rely on any. The only person you could rely on was the tight end, was Graham.
Yeah.
When with Breeze.
Oh yeah.
You can do that with CJ Stroud, as you can say, hey, I love Stephon Diggs, I love Nico Collins, I love Tank Dell, I love Dalton Schultz, I love Joe Mixon, but I don't know who is going to be the guy. And there's a kid there, Mechie, who's supposed to be good too. The rookie.
I think
from
they were
last
looking
year.
to trade him, didn't they? Were looking to trade him. Yeah, I don't know if they did, but I know they were looking to.
Well, they certainly don't need him, but maybe they're just gonna, because they just got him last year. I mean,
yeah.
But
he's a massive talent. They could probably get some great draft capital for. So.
Well, they're going to have to use him this year then if they want to trade him. They're going to have to so that's another guy that could take targets away from any of these guys. So yeah, I took Nico very early. That was another one of my obligation picks. That was my third obligation pick. And I felt obligated just because I couldn't stop hearing about the offense for the Texans all summer long.
Yeah. Listen, I can't stop thinking about it. I'm like, Dallas is no longer the best team in Texas. And look at your trade. Look at my enemy. Come on, but you look at it on paper. I'm like, they got substantially better, and we got a little bit worse because of our running situation. We did not adequately replace. Although I gotta tell you, I did grab some shares of Dalvin Cook off the wire because I do believe he will be the lead back probably by week 2.
You really think so? Do you not remember Dalvin Cook when he was with the Jets?
Yeah, but he got very few touches.
And there was a reason for that.
I think
he did nothing with the ones that he did. Left. Hey, man, I love it. He's a big name. I get it. It was
who else? We got Dowdle. We've seen Dowdle. He fucking sucks.
Dowdle's going to be your running back. But it was like getting Julio Jones when they traded him.
Don't tell me that. I don't want to hear that.
When they traded him to the Titans.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to.
That's what you got. You got Julio Jones.
I'd rather have Deuce Vaughn.
I agree with that.
I think they just can't believe it. They just can't believe in him. It's like, but every time he touched the ball, it was 5 yards.
Nobody can find him.
Nobody. 5-6 yards every time. 5-6 yards every time.
He's a tough little kid, man.
Right. And I'm like, let him do it until the wheels come off. Then he gets injured. Then you can use Dowdle all you want.
Yeah. Why did you draft him?
Yeah, I really wish they would give him
at all.
A bigger shot at it. But I think Dalvin Cook I hope so. Because we ain't got nothing else.
No, we certainly don't. Well, we got Dak and we got CeeDee.
Another sneaky pick I liked was Khalil Shakir. Picked him up. Only one. I think I got 3 slices of it. And just because he's the only one with chemistry.
Yep.
So I think at least over the first half of the season, he's going to be the main guy in key situations.
So you do not believe this Curtis Samuel hype at all?
No.
He's very old.
But and he can't stay on the field.
This is true. This is true. He's injury.
He cannot stay on the field, just like Hollywood Brown. There's no he's just gonna frustrate you all season long. Stay away from these guys.
Maybe we should just change his name to Arian Foster.
Oh, that was towards the end, though. Those first couple of seasons
were amazing. 1,000 catching, 1,000 rushing. He was great. So for mistakes, it's hard because, my first pick in our draft was a guy that I love so much, and I've always loved, even in college. He got me into college football, Saquon Barkley.
Oh, yeah.
But I was pick 8, and Jamar Chase fell to pick 8, and I could have taken Jamar Chase. And I look back and I think if that choice was wrong, it's going to screw my whole season up.
Yeah,
if
you're going to feel it
right.
all season. Yeah.
So I'm a little bit afraid, even though I love him. I couldn't watch him go to somebody else. Couldn't do it.
I kept missing on my sweet baby Derrick Henry, and I just really, it's probably for the best. It's for the best I didn't get him all over the place. But, like the one in our league where I have Saquon, it's because I have Derrick in our league. But in our other league, in the Smoking Super Bowls, I have Saquon Barkley. But even if I'd been awake for it, Henry got taken one place in front of me. So
yeah, that was weird. That was weird that Henry went before Saquon. I mean, you don't think he belongs before Saquon?
I do actually, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well, 2 days, baby.
I know.
2 days. You get to unwrap that gift and see what's in there.
I think he's 180 yards and 3 touchdowns. I think it's going to be
wow. I mean, 180 and 3. My God. Okay.
I think he starts painting a masterpiece this season.
We'll see. That's a bold prediction. 180 and 3. Woo!
180 and 3, baby.
That'll be impressive. If it happens, we should get a ridiculous amount of followers. If you're saying that on Tuesday, and it happens on Thursday, you deserve all.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, it would be. We deserve.
I forgot to put on my Buffalo Wild Wings fantasy football champion ring.
You got your championship ring. How many occasions did you get to wear that around?
Only during this podcast.
During the podcast, that's why I got.
I forgot. I had it in front of me. I was like, "Don't forget to wear it during the podcast, Greg. This is your Buffalo Wild Wings championship ring."
Buffalo Wild Wings. I feel like are they not a sponsor?
Look at that though. Not a sponsor, but in fact, I got to tell you, they really did a shit job hosting our draft this year. So this is the best thing that we got from it.
So you did that whole? I've never done that. You did the thing where you pay.
Oh yeah.
And they run your draft.
You don't pay. You just schedule it, and they give you you order food and drinks, but that's it. There's no minimums. There's nothing.
Oh, great.
And they provide the draft kit. But we get there and they're like, "Oh yeah, it doesn't come with a board." And I'm like, "What kind of a fucking draft kit doesn't come with a fucking board?"
So are we going to use the wall?
So I'm like taping together pieces of paper and shit to make a draft board. And I'm like, you know what? Let me talk to the fucking manager. So they get the manager. I go, what do you mean you don't have a draft board? He goes, most people bring their own. I was like, no, they don't. I was like, no, we have done it at Buffalo for 6 years. You always provide the draft board. And he's like, well, that's what they had for you. That was the whole kit. And I'm like, there's no draft boards anywhere.
You could have let me know. You could have let me know.
I know. If that's the case, you need to let people know they have to bring their own draft board.
Draft board not included.
I was like, there's nothing back there. You couldn't maybe just take a look. He's like, well, I guess I could take a look, but I don't think so. And then fucking comes waddling out, 10 minutes later, like, oh, I guess I found one. I'm like, you fucking moron.
Hey, you got one. Good for you, Greg.
Yeah.
You did it.
But this guy was just straight up lying to my face. Like, yeah, most people bring their own, I think. No, he didn't even look. He didn't even look. So to everyone listening or watching at home, if anyone in your life needs a job, they're hiring any idiot at Buffalo Wild Wings to be manager. So please look into that.
And the perks have to be good.
So they have to all the wings. Oh, I gotta tell you though, the wings, the very commercial wings, not my favorite.
Oh, I don't think I've ever been. I don't think I've ever been to a Buffalo Wild Wings.
And that was like the first time I've eaten like restaurant wings in like 2.5 years. And I had someone like, no bueno.
Well, maybe that's good for you. Then you won't want more later at some other.
By the way, I don't, not from them. By the way, you gotta love. We have this one Rob in our Smoking Super Bowls. league. He's just a fucking whack job. I love this guy so much. Bert's straight up in love with this guy. So my team name in that league is Stash of Fury. So he changed his team name for this week to the Norelco Stash Trip.
Nice.
It's really, I like this.
Are you playing him? Are you playing him this week?
Yes.
Oh, that's
week one,
great.
yeah.
That's
and guess
great.
what? Guess what? He has Stroud. I have Mahomes.
You know, I had a choice in another league. I'm curious. Let's get back to fantasy for a second. I had a choice in another league for quarterbacks between Mahomes and Lamar. And I went down to where you could hear it go bing, bing, bing. And my heart is pounding and the sweat is pouring. And I didn't know. I'm sorry, Zoya. And I didn't know. And I just, Mahomes. And I went Mahomes. And I don't know. Maybe that's
you are going to be so, as someone who's had both Mahomes and Lamar recently, you're going to be even lower numbers. Mahomes was more consistent and gave me less fits than Lamar Jackson, who was MVP last year and he looked like a fucking cardiac arrest heartbeat fucking week. So I hate it. I hate owning Lamar Jackson or managing Lamar Jackson. I will never draft Lamar Jackson ever again, even though I do believe this year, if he has a major year equal to what was it, 2017, I think was
2019.
2019. Okay, so if he were to have a season like that, it's this year. It's for sure this season. If he was going to have it.
Wow.
And he might because of the Derrick Henry. To me, the Derrick Henry thing is how the league let this happen.
But if he has a season, if he has a season like 2019, that's not good for Derrick Henry because he ran a lot.
Absolutely.
So you can't have it all. You can't have 100.
No, I think there's enough there for both. Honestly, if I'm being honest, I think there's enough because it's like you have to pick your poison every play.
Yeah, it would be a great, what do you call it, RPO. That team should just do the RPO every time.
Every single time.
We used to do that when we had Elliott.
RPO left, RPO right. That's it. You can't stop it. You got to commit to. And I said this before. I'm going to say it again right now. And I've said this on our poker chat and maybe our text thread. I believe Baltimore might go undefeated this season.
Wow, I don't remember doing that.
I'm
usually pretty blotto on those. By the time I look at on the poker, if it's poker chat, I don't.
I know. You got to write it down. This guy literally keeps a running log. Oh shit, we said because otherwise we have no idea what happened.
Because I wake up and I want to remember what I was laughing so hard about the night before. My face hurts from laughing. And I can't remember what it was. I have to go look at our notes.
Yeah, the notes.
There's some great stuff in there if you can read them.
Sense. Yeah.
Yeah, well, a lot of times it's just like they go around a page and down.
I know. It looks like a stroke victim wrote it. You're
that makes sense. And sometimes that alone is enough to make you laugh.
Oh, my God.
So a big thing that I felt like I missed out on in our draft in particular that I got to give you major credit for was your defense timing. Picking Dallas when you did. Yeah. Because right after that went the Jets. And I wanted to have one of those two. Yeah. And I just kind of got wrapped up in all the other players and all the other things. And I kind of just forgot about my defense. And I was like, oh no, oh boy, there goes all the good ones. And I didn't do my homework on who's going to have the good week one. I didn't think about New Orleans. I didn't think about Cincinnati. And I should have because nobody was. I could have just got him last, not panicked, and maybe picked up something else, anything at that point. But I felt like, there goes all the defenses. Your timing was impeccable. You did it.
Oh, thank you.
At the perfect time.
Because I'm always thinking about where's the latest. I call the strategy best of breed. And I'm like, if you can get the best where's the latest you can get the best in any category? Because when you have the best, you don't really have to think about who you want in the lineup. You got the best. There's not a lot of dancing around it. That's why. And listen, talk about guys. If we really quickly want to talk about a couple of lower round guys that we think could be league winners. For me, it's Brandon Aubrey, the kicker for the Cowboys.
League winner, a kicker. Bold.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think they're gonna because I think they're gonna have to kick from way out a lot.
Yeah. Oh God, that makes me sad.
I really do.
But they can do it.
I think there's going to be a lot of 50-plussers in his like record-setting amount of 50-plus shots out of him, attempts, like more than anyone ever. Yeah,
12-point average for this guy.
Absolutely.
That's pretty. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
I think maybe Kyle Pitts this season.
There's very little evidence to support that.
There's no evidence. It's in college. It's all in college. His evidence is pre-pro.
To me, Kyle Pitts is fetch. Quit trying to make fetch happen. It's not happening. He's so fetch.
What do you think of Bowers as far as tight end?
I talk about a guy I wanted more shares of, but he kept going higher and higher.
Too high. He got too high.
Right. And in like the 6th round, the 7th round, and I had him like down there like 9, 10. It was as high as I thought that was way early enough. I thought he'd go in the 15th round. I thought 9, 10 was early.
Oh, no way. Not with all the hype. I mean, look how high Drake London went after his...
that put him in the fetch pile. Put him in the fetch pile.
The whole Atlanta Falcons, I think they're trying to make...
Except for Bijan Robinson.
Who's already...
Who should have the season. He should have.
How about a quick shout out to Texas running backs? How about some Texas pride? Bijan Robinson, and you know, you're not going to see him for the first 5-6 weeks, but Jonathan Brooks,
there's a guy.
Yeah.
I tried to get shares of him, and people kept getting him like in the 10th round, and I'm like, oh my God, I thought I could easily get him like literally draft kicker, defense, and then in like 15 grab Jonathan Brooks. You know, I really thought that was the play, and he was going like in the 10th round. I was like, I can't believe he's going this early, but I get it.
IR spot. If you've got an IR spot, there's no reason not to do that.
No, I know.
Slide him in there. You got another player you pick up.
Yeah.
That's smart.
I don't think I got any shares of Jonathan Brooks.
I like him I got him in our the Smoking Super Bowls league. I think that might be my best. I had zero, like I didn't even practice. All my focus is always on the Silent Nation. I just always put everything on that. And then everything else kind of falls in line wherever it goes. So it really hurts that I'm projected to win 2 games this season. Did you see my projection?
No, is that right?
Yeah.
Don't you have a great projection out of the gate? Let me see.
No, no, I don't. Because I don't have a tight end yet.
Oh, okay, right.
That's why they rated me and said, "Hey, this guy."
Oh yeah.
He doesn't have a tight end.
Yeah, and depending on who you get, let's see. But I mean, yeah, you whiffed on that. Joe Burrow. Oh my God. At least you have Breece Hall and Saquon, so that's good.
Look, I got Joe Burrow and I've got T. Higgins, so the stack is nice. And if Chase is not good, I can use him.
But you're not even playing Rice.
Well, not yet. Look, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. My lineup is not official yet.
Okay. Right now you have Rashid Rice in there, and he plays on Thursday, which I probably shouldn't even.
I should take him out of my flex. Thank you. I should take him out of the flex.
Yeah.
You're right about that.
You want a Sunday guy in there.
Yep. I just did it. Put Nico Collins in the flex.
There you go.
But I just feel like, don't you feel like if you draft a guy in the 3rd round and then you draft another guy in the 6th round, you're always going to play the guy in the 3rd round? I mean, like I feel obligated, again, to play him. So like, even though T. Higgins might be better this week, it's like, man, I put all this draft capital in Nico Collins.
You feel obligated to play him. Yeah, exactly. You can't not play him. Yeah. The guy that I'm playing over a lot of guys with higher projections is Xavier Worthy in the flex. I'm going to go ahead. I can't not use him because I just think he's going to throw up 16, 17 points. I just really do. I think he's going to hit some big ones, and that's all it's going to take.
Better not put him in the flex. Put him in the wide receiver spot, right? So that
I think week 1.
No, it's not about what week it is. It's about the strategy of fantasy football. You want to teach the people the correct methods, and one is never put a Thursday player in your flex. You always put them, if you're going to play them, in the wide receiver, the running back, or whatever, if it's a tight end, which I doubt you're flexing, but you put them in their actual positions. That way, if something happens between Thursday and Sunday and the guy that you thought was going to start trips over his fucking dog.
Okay, but what if I've got two of my receivers playing off first?
Well,
because I also got Zay Flowers, and I think Zay Flowers is going to be the beneficiary of this incredible run game to the tune of huge downfield points. I love Zay Flowers this season. He's a guy I wish I got more shares of.
Yeah, that's another one too. You're right. I didn't take any because I just was afraid. You know, I took him last year as a rookie. His draft price was way up there. It was like in the 5th round where you could get better people, I thought. I mean, but we'll see. He might be the best. I mean, he's certainly on one of the best
listen, with that running game to draw them towards the line of scrimmage, I just don't know how he doesn't get open all fucking day.
And after he gets his hands on the ball,
he's spectacular. He's spectacular.
Phenomenal. He reminds me
of the human joystick.
They should if they don't.
I think they do. Yeah.
He reminds me of Deebo Samuel. You know, like as soon as he gets the ball in his hand, it's like it's really hard to tackle.
Now let me ask you this: this is a guy? I think I got 2 shares of him, and because I believe like the hype from last year might happen this year, and that's Garrett Wilson.
I just have a really hard time trusting any Jet.
Oh, I know. But
I just have a hard time doing it. Aside from Breece Hall, you're right. You're right. Aside from Breece Hall, he's the only one that I have any faith in. And you know, he was my keeper for a 4th round. I mean, you know, he was going 4th overall.
And the defense, because again, you have a defensive head coach. So the defense is still there's going to be spectacular.
Any offense. I don't trust Aaron Rodgers. I don't trust Garrett Wilson. I don't trust Tyler Conklin. I don't trust a lot of these guys. I think Sauce Gardner's great. I think Breece is great. I think the defense is great in general. Yeah. I just don't know. Garrett, I wish that he was on the Cowboys or a better team. I wish he was on a better team where he could be the real guy. It wouldn't be the Cowboys, but if he could be on a better team with a just a better quarterback and a better history, you know. Yeah. I would believe in him more. Yeah. You know, and I hear that Aaron Rodgers and him don't get along. Like if you don't get along with Aaron, he's not going to throw you. You know, it's not going to you know, you got to try to get along with that guy.
I know, because I was watching a lot of interviews, and he's like, I like being the leader on this. Like, he thinks he's the leader of the team. And I think a lot of that came from, Rodgers not being there last year.
Of course. What else? It certainly wasn't Zach Wilson.
Yeah, no. So I think he thinks, so he's the leader of the team. So I can see where they'd have this alpha situation, you know. But at the end of the day, if he can get him the ball, that's all I care about.
True that.
Now, I will say this. Let's really quickly, if we were going to have some exciting pieces that are total gambles, for me, there's 2 guys I have 1 share of each. One, definitely, I'm the most excited about. The other one, I've been watching it. I'm so intrigued by him from preseason. Number 1, Marvin Harrison Jr. And number 2 is Malik Neighbors. These are the 2.
But God, Malik's got no quarterback.
I know. Danny.
I think he's amazing, but
Danny Dipstick is the worst.
I love Marvin Harrison. He's clearly a special, extremely amazing. Comes from incredible stock, of Hall of Fame DNA in there, And his dad has clearly taught him everything he knows. We saw him destroy everybody in college. He's not going to stop. He's going to be amazing, and that's why I'm sad about Kyler.
You were so excited, the Kyler thing. Who I don't trust Kyler at all. I don't trust him to stay healthy. I don't trust him to get the ball. I don't know. I'm not that excited about Kyler. But in fact, I have 0 shares of Kyler Murray. I took Dak Prescott over Kyler.
Kyler? Wow. I would not have done that. Dak doesn't run anymore. Kyler is going to run.
He's a funny guy. I know. And honestly, it was one of those picks where I felt like we were out of elite quarterbacks. He was the last one. I didn't want Kyler. And I went in and took Dak, and I
you seem like you regret it a little bit.
I regret it so much.
So now you hate Kyler because you're trying to make yourself feel better about this bad pick you made.
Well, I mean, Listen. I picked Dak before, much like Lamar. I just don't trust them. They somehow managed, and the end result doesn't match what happens in fantasy week to week.
No, it doesn't.
But Dak had that big year last year, and I'm afraid, in typical Wilson fashion, of course, last year was the season to have Dak Prescott. And of course, that's why I drafted him this year.
Right, you're chasing the points.
Yeah,
chasing the dragon.
And that was the one where I went one round too far on Jordan Love.
I'll tell you the guy that I'm glad that I got, who is a total gamble. But you know me, I'm also a big Michigan guy.
Yeah.
I took Blake Corum in our league.
Okay. I mean, do you have Kyren Williams?
I don't, but it doesn't matter because whoever has Kyren won't have him for the whole season.
Oh, I think the guy that I went for was Brian Thomas Jr., who...
Love him.
Right. And I have 0 shares of him. And this was our last draft. This was my last chance to get 1 share of him. And that is what cost me Jordan Love.
Wow. That's hard. But I think Brian Thomas is going to be freaking better than Neighbors. I think Roman Doomsday will be better than Neighbors, I think. Just because of the quarter, even though...
But he's got so much more competition. That's the thing about Malik Neighbors. He's the guy. And they are going to have to throw the ball a lot. So I just feel like...
I'm trying to think of one other receiver over there.
I'm just going to really quickly look up Giants wide receivers.
I think it was Jalen Hyatt and Isaiah Hodgins.
Okay, they do have Hyatt. You're right. And Darius Slayton?
Oh, I always love Darius Slayton. But he's also never healthy, and they just
never healthy. Yeah,
they never throw to him.
Yeah, he's always available on the waiver wire.
Yep, and that's where he belongs.
Oh, and I guess they still have Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yeah,
and they picked up Gunnar Olszewski.
I don't know who that is.
I think he used to be in Green Bay, maybe.
But he's a type of name that I would remember.
But so the top guys are Wan'Dale Robinson, Malik Neighbors, Darius Slayton. So to me, there's no competition.
Yeah, he's going to get everything. He's going to get, I guess, Singletary.
I think 1 share of Singletary, maybe 2, because again, he's a lead back, and bye weeks.
I guarantee the reason you have Singletary is because you went 0 RB.
No, I think it was just a late round. I never go 0 RB. So, no, never.
I guess the only other thing I could talk about for our drafts is that I did get a lot of shares of Rashee Rice and I reached really far for him because I didn't think that he would last. Yeah. I think his ADP was so low that somebody like our league's too smart.
Well, but for me, that's why first of all, he's going to get suspended at some point. But like they say, maybe not this season. Okay, but I think it'll probably be some point down the end of the season when you really need him. And 2, I just think Xavier Worthy's going to outshine it. I mean, Rashee Rice is good. He's very, very good. I have him in my dynasty league, but
it's the rapport that he's got with Mahomes is something that is so valuable,
But he had that, just in comparison, more than the other fucking collection of dummies they had last season.
Correct. To everybody else on the team
I think you saw it right away. The rapport in preseason with Worthy that he just and again, it's Patrick Mahomes. He can put that ball anywhere he wants.
It is amazing. It is. It's going to be something special.
He needs chemistry less than anyone else in the game.
I think you're right. He's got so much talent, but it's nice if your wide receiver has the chemistry that's established, with Patrick. I think, so I just felt like, hey, I want a piece, and I couldn't get Pacheco, and I doubted I was going to get Worthy. And the only other piece that I thought was worth it, and I'm not taking Kelsey, I'm not doing that. So the only thing I could do was Rashee Rice or what? Or wait till the very end and take Juju and hope that I get a bunch of PPR. I mean, I wanted something.
I wanted to really quickly double back because we were talking about Marvin Harrison and the lineage and stuff like that. Okay, so I had no first-round pick in my dynasty league. So in my third, I know I blew it. I traded it for Dallas Goedert last year. I panicked and took the bait. I know. I thought Kelsey was actually injured and I didn't have anybody else. I was a good starter and I didn't want it to ruin my season. And so I made the trade and it fucked me good. Of course, I'm new to Dynasty, so I didn't, and I've won second place both years in the league.
Hey, nice. Congrats.
But, I mean, I didn't realize how valuable first round picks were in Dynasty. Because after that, it's straight garbage.
The whole future. I mean, it's the whole future of.
But my third and fourth round picks were Brendan Rice, Jerry Rice's son, who I think has tremendous opportunity over at the Chargers, and Frank Gore Jr., who's playing for the Bills. And even though he got a little dinged up in the final preseason game, I think by the end of the season, we're going to be hearing from Frank Gore Jr.
I agree. Where's he at? You said Bills, right?
The Bills.
Yeah. So, I mean, James
Cook is good. Very good.
He's kind of small. He needs to be spelled. He can't. Yeah. He needs somebody to give him rest.
And I think by the end of the season, we'll be seeing Frank Gore Jr., a lot. I like him.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
The pedigree is usually, that stuff works. Look at Mahomes, right?
Yeah.
His dad was a professional baseball player.
Yeah.
So
got the arm, all that arm talent.
Yeah, he could have been same with Kyler. They both could have been in baseball, professional baseball players.
You know what really did it for? That's true. But what really did it for me with Rice was he was drafted, I think, in like the 6th round or something like that. And Jerry Rice was so insulted. He said something to the media like, "Come on, son, we're going to go get you ready to take over this league." And when your dad is Jerry fucking Rice and he's got a chip on his shoulder for you, and he's giving you the tricks of the trade, he's training you, he's showing you what to do, and now you just got to go out there and like really execute and learn it on the field. Listen, I am very excited about, and we may find him being a waiver wire pickup around week 6, 7 for the Chargers because again they dismissed everybody else. So the opportunity is there. The opportunity
is definitely there. I think that there's more opportunity for another rookie over there, Ladd McConkey.
No, absolutely. Ladd McConkey's the earlier off the board choice. Everyone's believing him. But I'm like, I'm excited. I'm just as excited to see Brendan Rice as Ladd McConkey.
But for Dynasty, that's a great it's smart. I mean, I wonder, did you get Luke McCaffrey as well?
I wanted to. He went before I could grab him because he was between him and Gore, and they grabbed McCaffrey, so I went ahead and took Gore.
Yeah, man. As soon as Arch Manning is available, I'm taking him. As soon as I can get my hands on Arch Manning, I'm taking that guy. He comes from a great stock.
Pretty good stock.
He's going to do great.
Great episode. I think we really covered a lot of draft emotional picks. So many ups and downs. And again, like Christmas, takes so long to get there, then goes so fast, as does the whole NFL season, which starts Thursday night. Oh, I can't wait.
So next week, this show will be all about the waiver wire.
Yeah. Well, it'll be about results and the waiver wire, probably.
Well, Tuesday, right? Are we going to do it Tuesday?
No, we'll talk waiver wire.
Waiver wire Wednesday.
Also going to talk about the results, though. Talk about the games. Really quickly, go ahead. Give me your Thursday, Friday picks. Just winners, not against the spread. Who do you like Thursday night in the biggest game of the week, probably?
Kansas City.
I'm going Baltimore.
Well, of course, 180-3. How could they? Of course you are going with Baltimore. How could you not? I'm taking Kansas City. I don't know how they're going to overcome Derrick Henry's amazing ride there, but and then I'm taking Philly. I just think Philly's a better team.
I'm taking Philly too, especially with the addition of Saquon. I think they get back on track, even though I love what they got going on there. I think Jordan Love is the truth and going to be fantastic. I think you're right. I think Philly is just a little squirrelier and really determined to right what happened last week.
Exactly. Last year. Yeah. The end of the season, they fell apart. They
fell apart. They went 10-1, and then
and then they lost to Baker Mayfield in the playoffs.
Yeah, like what happened? I think there's going to be a serious course correction for that.
Yeah, I wonder if it's Nick Sirianni.
We'll find out. If they lose, the people will start saying if they lose that'll be definitely hard to ignore the chorus of boos, especially
they're
in
good
Philadelphia.
at firing. They're good at firing good coaches. I mean, they fired what's his name, Andy Reid, right? He's pretty good. That Andy
who won
Reid.
them who got
them to the only Super Bowl appearance that they ever went to.
Yeah,
and then they fired the guy who gave them their only Super Bowl, Doug Peterson.
That's right.
What the hell are they doing? I mean, I don't understand. It's almost worse than us. It's almost
well
worse
with Sirianni. You begin to wonder if it wasn't the OC and the DC, because his original two went on to become head coaches other places, and then the team was never the same.
Yeah,
but it's a lot to lose both of them in the same season. That's a lot.
That's a good point. I didn't think of that.
We'll see if it evens out last year you saw they couldn't figure out who should run the plays on the defense, and they'd been a fucking number one defense the season before.
So strange that the players wouldn't say, "Hey, let's do what we were doing."
Yeah.
I don't know why
maybe the players were the reason they changed the DC.
They didn't.
They might have been like, "Come on, this guy, we got it," and they replaced him. That's a rare thing to do mid-season after a 10-1 start, to change your defense. Who's calling the plays? For the defense. Very strange. Things.
You lost that one. You're out of here.
Wait, it was very bizarre the way that whole shit went down. So we'll see what happens.
Two more sleeps, my friend. Two more sleeps.
It is time. Wait. It is and I will hopefully. Wait. Let's see. And again, I can't wait to discuss our records for week one. And remember, everyone, week one is a mirage. It never translates to the rest of the season. Good players don't do shit. Nobody's do amazing. And then nothing again the rest of the season. So don't go crazy. We will discuss this again, obviously, on Waiver Wire Tuesday next week. But just don't go crazy. Don't panic. And
no overreactions.
Don't overreact and drop guys or trade. Just be cool. Week one is an anomaly every fucking year. Just ask me when I had Anquan Bolden and he got 4 touchdowns and then never scored again, or maybe like 2 more. The rest is unreal. that was the biggest mind fuck of all time. All right, fantasy football, reality. All right, good night.
See you, folks.